Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Songs of Conquest, where today we see if we are indeed worthy of Mission 4. Things have been getting more difficult here, for sure. I'm a little worried that we may find ourselves turning the difficulty down eventually. But as as I noted during Mission 2 of this campaign, the kinds of problems we're having are differing, right? As we get a better grasp of the game systems, we're starting to have, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna be fine. Maybe our understanding is still evolving. Once again, the Rana traveled by portal, the now familiar pulling sensation guiding them to where they wanted to go. The difference this time was that they were no longer the hunted; they were now the hunters. It's not really how commas work. Pacha, where have you taken us? The Heartlands, what used to be one of the most thriving regions of Rana. But that was before the Empress Aurelia, long before Baria even existed. But there's barely anything left of the marsh here. I can smell the desert winds. It's not that far to the south. No, the desert, like the Barians, has consumed the marsh. Well, what can we do? We can't fight the desert. Rask, we must recover all that the marsh ever was. I believe that starts here. Once we remove the Barian structures, the marsh will come back. The marsh adapts. Oh, we'll do more than adapt. We will rise from the ashes and the Barians will pay for what they've done. The marsh will expand. Okay, that's vague, but I guess workable. What does Pacha have right now? Boy, why? It feels like you two could have shown up with more army. Right? We had a lot more army to work with. Alright, let's just remember this. Let's touch a giant mushroom, just in case. And then I'm assuming there won't really be a fight here. Yeah, okay. Got ourselves a little camp that's going to become a lot more camp. Okay, we need stone and wood and just all kinds of stuff. Let's grab some of that. As the Rana forces moved south, they could see many other Rana coming out to greet them from the nearby camp. The folk carried flowers and wreaths which they hung around the necks of the warriors and adorned the shells of the Chaloon. Many of them stood with their mouths hanging open when they saw the dragon and the Ethdraw. The legends are true. He rides the Ravager as his steed. The rider is come. The rider is come. Yes, this is Rask, the rider, the wielder who will lead us to Rana, the wielder who will lead us Rana, because that's who we are, to reclaim what was once ours and restore the marsh. The marsh expands. We'll gather the Rana here at dawn's light and then break across the desert like a tidal wave. Okay, I should probably actually interact with this before I leave. Then let's go get all the stone. We'll come back for those mushrooms later. Okay, there are swamp beasts that I'm sure will simply join our cause. Alright, and what do we have here? We have diggers and we have a fungus farm, and we're gonna need gatherers as well, right? Alright, that gold mine is guarded by Dreaths, which is a little scary. There, we can certainly grab the bubbling bog. And what do we get from the Mystic Hermit? Oh, the Mystic Hermit shares their knowledge of Command 8. Wow, that Mystic Hermit really knows a thing or two. Alright, the Dreaths are showing up as simple. We should be able to just knock that right out. Yep, absolutely. Please join us. Alright, this is just going to generate some experience, which is actually probably a level up. No, it's very, very close, though. Alright, so we got our gatherers done. We do have the resources to upgrade the fungus farm, and honestly, like, it's only plus 150 gold per turn. I guess I probably shouldn't. We're also going to need a shaman's tent for sure. Oh, actually, that's a cliff right there. I didn't even realize. Well, how are we going to get around? That gold mine seems important. All right, what are the rats like? How many rats are we looking at here? Just a lot. Really a lot of rats, actually. I guess we're all going this way? All right, turn that fungus farm around. I guess we can just have Pacha here grab some troops and ferry them forward. Still need a little bit more wood. All right, so this is going to be mud huts over everything, right? Yeah, guards and crawlers. Unfortunately, costs a bunch of wood. All right. Let's head back. What can we draft right now? Not very much. We do want to interact with the giant mushrooms. That is a lot of rats. That is more rats than I would like to challenge all at once. That said, the dragon... Oh, you haven't... Hold on. Rask should absolutely hit the ancient ruins before he really goes anywhere. Alright, a boost for the next battle. Hire in the remaining troops that we're allowed to hire in. Actually, sorry. We can fix those. And then we want to hand off pretty much all of this to Rask, right? You keep the 2 Chaloon, I guess? Okay. Army's a little bit more capable now. Let's step down here and clear these rats out, I guess. I mean, I want to get crawlers into the recruitment pool. Maybe it's worth upgrading the gatherers. I don't usually do stuff like that, but you get through a lot of wood early in the building of a settlement. So we're going to need 15 wood and 4,000 gold. Yeah, we're still quite a ways off. All right. I think we can handle this. It's just a whole lot of rats. If anybody should be further back, it's probably like the rider. The dragons are going to get a lot of this work done. Hopefully. Sorry, dragon singular. Where'd all my dragons go? Ugh, they ran off with what's his name. I guess for the moment then, maybe don't do a whole lot. Yeah, I think we want to just let them approach. All right, well, it'll be safe enough to do so from like approximately here. You guys run all the way forward and just go into ambush mode. We shall throw up some inspiration, I guess. They have berserking, which I did not remember. And 5 health each. So a rupture isn't really that many kills. Yeah, we'd like to go with pure destruction damage spells, or destruction creation at the very least. The question is, do we go for this? Like, is that a good idea? Or are we going to get retaliated against entirely too hard? Give our riders melee resistance. Yeah, all right. Let's see if we can allow them to survive. And 3 charges of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna go like, you have 7 move, right? 8 even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we do this, and then we run all the way over here to use all of our movement. Now we're killing over half the stack. Just fly you to there and do some damage. We can remove that stack of rats entirely. Okay, let's weaken these ones. Try to make the dragon as safe as possible. A little bit of blind hatred. Then poison you. Okay. I got a little scary there. I was not expecting the dragon to take so much retaliation damage. I certainly do not want to lose my dragon at this point. Sadly, I did not leave myself enough room to like stand away from the rats and breathe fire on them safely. All right. Let's tribute to chaos. Get my chaos essence back. Get my mushroom essence back, and a settlement with a whole bunch of wood piled up next to it. Very important stuff. Standing by the road, a small hunting party waited for the approaching Rana forces. You've arrived! We've been raiding south, inspired by the stories of the wielder awakened. Well, I am not the only wielder. There are many more. More arriving by the day and ready to fight for the Rana cause. Oh, we're ready to be led. Vengeance is coming. Yeah, sure. We got empty space. Not that I think you're a very impressive unit, but, you know, we got space. Oh, you know what? We should absolutely have Cha visit the hermit before we go. An extra point of command is, like, very significant. Okay. He can grab troops before he leaves one more time. Only +4. It's a shame. Alright, I don't know if we want to keep this a lean-to. Yeah, alright, I'm going to max that out. Pretty sure we want a fungus farm here. Like, this could be a place where we set up a beast corral. And if we're doing that, we need to keep the lean-to, which makes some sense. And then we just, like, also put up a, not a shaman tent, a fungus farm here. I know we're having difficulty with wood, but that's pretty temporary, right? We will need more gold forever. All right, so you've touched that. Yeah, I guess let's get back up here. Draft in some new units. Oh, wow, actually, never mind. Can't pull much else. We don't have the money. We'll clear out these rats eventually, at some point. let's see how strong these armies are. Oh, hold on. Out of a portal stumbled Cheekham with but a few hunters following behind. His search for the honorable Captain Silkspool had been a disaster. Instead of finding Silkspool, he'd found a terrifying Arleon wielder, Cecilia Stoutheart. Yeah, that is for real bad news. She told him she had executed Captain Silkspool, and then without warning, she had attacked and killed most of his fellow Rana. Oh, I forgot that she killed Silkspool early in the campaign. That's right. Well, that's doubly bad news. He'd been forced to flee, but now a hatred burned within him. He could feel it fuel his very essence. Okay, well, welcome back, friend. Make sure to touch the portal for XP, even though you came out of that portal. That doesn't really make any sense. Examining the terrain, Cheekham realized they had arrived close to where he wanted to be. He had a sense that Rask was nearby, so he stopped and gathered the few hunters that remained. Or at least I would if you would stop interrupting me with dialogue. Friends, I need you to search quickly in all directions for Rask, or any sign of him. He needs to know what happened. How do you know he's nearby? He's my spawn mate and a wielder. I can sense him. I believe he is to the west. That's a power we have, apparently? Okay, yeah, tell him Arleon's not to be trusted. Listen, it's a lot of dialogue. We do not actually need multiple, oh, tell him this and then, wait, tell him that before you go. Just, like, compress. Fewer words, more gameplay. Friends, I am Cheekham Stormcaller, etc. We're all on the same side here. There's no reason for us to talk about it, and then we all join together. Hooray. Slaves no more. It's very important that we're slaves no more, but we do all know it, so, you know, there's not a lot of reason to say it again. Okay. Apologies, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. You know, it's just like, there's only so many times you can have your turn interrupted by, oh, and then it was a dialogue box before it starts to feel like pretty annoying. Huh. That looks pretty serious. I'm going to assume that this group of skeletons, well, you know, it's not all that terrifying. Let me hit some stuff over here before we commit. Turn this spire, I suppose. This is also a pretty defeatable group of troops, it looks like. So we would love to beast corral here. It's just a matter of waiting for resources. I guess not even necessarily waiting, because Glimmerweave is not just going to show up. Well, let me, I guess, go grab more hunters before we try to do that. We're a little celestial ore short of any upgrades. Maybe I want to go back and bring more troops forward, since we're not going to be doing any kind of like rally point shenanigans just yet. So, bunch of guards. Yeah, just bring everything. Actually, I have barely any movement. Let's just end the turn here. Recruit everything that's in the camp now. And bring all of that forward to merge together with Rask. Okay, so you want to go. I mean, we're gonna end up running out of money here, right? I don't quite have the money to research to grab all these. Let's use Cheekham to gather some funds and whatnot. As Cheekham neared the settlement, one of the hunters came up to him to say, I'm guessing, probably some pretty similar things to what this group of hunters said. This is Grasstide, our home, and yours if you wish it. Yep, we'll gather and fight the Barians. Okay. We definitely need to take the Glimmerweave here. Okay, what else? Wooden idol. You know, we're not desperate for Ancient Amber, and we do have income. Let's take the XP. Plus, there's always Ancient Amber in the Bubbling Bog for some reason. Alright, so now that we have a little bit more money, We will hire down all of these. We will run up and interact with you to get the rest of the troops. Oops, nope, that's the wrong direction. So I want to drop you all. Yeah, once again, I think it's just the Chaloon who stay. Okay. So everybody is out of movement then, and we have the wood for the upgrade, but now it's just a matter of accumulating a whole bunch more gold. The War Council. Rask had now heard from Cheekham that Captain Silkspool had been killed by the other humans, so even as far away as Arleon, the humans hated the Rana. Humans, Harima, Fae, and even the returning undead strove to destroy the Rana. Rask and his wielders agreed that it was not enough to free the marsh. All of their enemies, the Baria, Loth, and Arleon, must be driven from the continent. We'll fight them all at once. We'll reclaim our lands and push them all into the sea. Okay, I mean, dragons, pretty good way to start that, it would seem. Let's grab the hunters to which we are entitled and go get a gold mine. A small encampment of mercenaries were guarding the way out of the marsh. Pikes ready, dirty froglings. We will not allow any more of your raids upon our lands. We'll push you back to the far seas, and the desert will become marsh again. The marsh expands. Let's see if you talk so well with a pike through your throat. So, like, that's a really good example. What was gained by there being dialogue there? Right? We know these troops hate each other. If it's something unusual that's going to happen, that's one thing. Or if it's, you know, if there's some meaningful plot that needs to be delivered so the player knows what to do, like the idea that they had with that conversation with the encampment with Cheekham, right, was that it tells you that there's more troops to the south, which I guess is maybe worth imparting. It sort of depends on the way that the terrain is shaped, because if it turns out that south is the only direction you could go anyway, then obviously that's less important. So we got to remember to be a little bit careful of their range. Yeah, it does kind of make me feel like I don't want to do anything yet. So they'll have to move 2 spaces and then fire. And if we just back up the hunters, then their first turn shot will be a weak one. They won't have anybody in deadly range, and then we can rush them before they can reload. Because I don't think we're getting to them before that happens. That seems somewhat unlikely. Okay, so we can be as far forward as here. This is the wall. What does 60 damage do to these guys? Actually, it reduces the number of troops by a fairly significant number. I wonder if it's worth laying fungi in front of, just like in a line in front of them. They'll probably just both go through the same space, though. We'll hold off for the moment. Okay, you actually do have to back up a step. I don't think this ambush is going to catch anybody. I might back up with these guys. Their damage is going to be critical with our armies being so small, and they're awfully fragile. I really like that the riders have a weight command that's very powerful. Okay. So they had to throw out a couple of weak attacks there. We have access to some damage. 72 damage here would be... I would actually... That plus the charge will be most of the stack. Or we'll get lucky and it will be all of the stack. Let's see here. We could do a swap. What do we have open? Damage spell-wise, not very much, unfortunately. I did use a bunch of essence there. I guess +1 damage for all troops is fairly useful. 9 to 17. All right, I'll take it. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to get to these ones, but let's make sure you go down. Oh, never mind. The dragon is very fucking fast. Yeah, let's just chop that dude down. That really couldn't have gone better. That's exactly what you want from this kind of army, right? We just have the let them approach and then swarm them very suddenly as they're recovering from their first shot. All right, and that gets us a whole lot of extremely valuable currency. A great axe that I don't... Well, it's 11 offense. I was going to say, it's hard to imagine any of our wielders using, but Cheekham probably doesn't have the best gear. Yeah, his stuff's fairly out of date. I think we still need to take the Glimmerweave here. I should probably upgrade that, but it's maybe not the most important thing. Let me grab a couple more upgrades. You have found a wall. That's interesting. What do I want you to do? I guess I want him to come back here and gather more troops, right? So that's an extra 500 gold per turn. We definitely want to take that. We are now short stone for the other thing we were going to do here. So I suppose the Chaloon Sanctuary makes sense to build here. We have the fungus farm. We have the shaman tents. Let's get that started. And with that, I think we're good. It's a shame I couldn't quite flip the mine. An abandoned cart full of a very small amount of gold. All right. Pikes, muskets, we can probably take them. Establish ourselves another settlement, another forward settlement. A large force of Barians were camped along the road, their mission clear, to keep any further raiders inside the marsh. As they noticed the Rana forces approach, they quickly formed ranks ready for battle. Again, not really... I don't know that we needed text there. The dragons are fast. They can probably be a little further back. So, their guns are going to control the pace of this thing pretty much entirely. Ooh, they're actually quite a bit closer than I was expecting. And they have upgraded gun troops. That is a real shame, because we can't quite reach those guys. Can the riders? Okay, the riders can. And we do get to go before all of them, because we have like 1 million. Obviously, like, our wielder is so upgraded. Yeah, I guess there's not really a good reason for you to do anything other than just run forward. I think this is going to be a run forward kind of battle. So With there only being 5 riders, I don't think I trust that they're going to be able to get rid of the gunners by themselves, but it's probably more important to burn the pikes. This is going to be dangerous no matter how we do it. If I want to attack multiple people within melee reach, behind or between, so like the thing to do is go here and attack down this way, right? If I attack there, I think it will also hit that one, and I won't take any retaliation. You currently have 147 melee offense. So if I gave you 30 more, it'd be like a 20% increase. So we'd expect to see like 2 extra dead. It's probably not worth spending the essence. Oh, doesn't it say between or behind? All troops within melee reach, between or behind. Okay, so it's not the 2 spaces around. That's worded so strangely. It should just say like all troops within melee reach in the direction that you attack. It delivers the same information, but it's a lot less ambiguous. So, how much danger am I in? I really do wish the riders weren't going last, because I need information from their turn to make decisions. Yeah, we'll do this because the riders will be adjacent to these guys, so even if we don't kill them all, at the very least, we will be holding them in place. And then, like, I kind of want to hold out for Fireball, right? I wonder if that's giving them too much opportunity to do harm. 72 is not really that many. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm just going to go for it here. Yeah, the pikes are going to do some pretty scary damage. The ranged units are pretty under control, though. Oh, you really still can't quite get there. That's a real shame. We do have Dimension Door. I don't think I need the Arcana for anything else. I guess, like, if I wanted to run Blind Hatred, that costs Arcana. But I'd rather just get you into the fight, I think. Okay, I think it makes a lot of sense to move up here, get the Intimidate going. Can finish you off. These storm guys don't really do a lot of damage. Yeah, I'm going to do this because I'm afraid if I go the other way, the retaliation will be lethal. You're basically already dead. There we go. Turns out waiting for Fireball wholly unnecessary. So yeah, I should probably just use my weaker spells right away, because on a second round we're not likely to need the spell. So I'm just wasting the essence effectively, and we're paying troops for the delay. All right, pikes and muskets. Pikes and muskets. We can handle that. It would be awfully nice if we had, proper burrowers or something, but whatever, we'll make do. Running up here and attacking doesn't seem terribly useful. Honestly, you guys probably are not going to contribute anything more than just sitting back. So the dragons fly when they move. Okay, they cannot just fly up a wall, sadly. Can I melee attack this guy with my, like, weird half-ranged melee attack? No. That's fine, I'll just burn this down. We don't have to let her have a turn, but also it doesn't really feel like it's all that important. I wish I had movement stuff already. Well, if I don't block the way, we might be able to get the rider up to him. Yeah, because I just need like a dimensional door. Put you here. That should be just enough. Gosh, I love cavalry. Cavalry is so good. And notice we are always getting there with like just enough movement. The bonus point of movement the Rask gives to these units is really, really critical. All right, so we're getting that set up. There isn't another... Yeah, there's not really another place to go around here. Hold on, so we'll come back to you in a second. We should probably go get those Rana. A wielder, can we join your forces? Of course you can join my forces. We've been raiding the Barians. We've heard the stories of the uprising and gathered to take action. We killed some humans and burned their houses. Okay, all right. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. I think we're going to fall back and do some more collecting and exploring before we actually attack there. All right, you're doing your thing. So now it really is this time. All right, we have some important stuff going on. We have this large... Neither of these recruit dragons. Smoldering Cave Tier 3 is unlike other troop buildings, not producing upgraded units to the recruitment pool. Instead, regular dragons are still produced, and you have to you can manually upgrade the ones you have recruited to elder dragons. Oh, okay. Interesting. So this requires a Chaloon Sanctuary in the same area, which we have. Okay. So yeah, this will be where we build the Smoldering Cave. It's just a matter of time and resources. That doesn't answer what do we do with Pacha's turn, which I guess is just we'll loot the Bubbling Bog again. And then it would be good to knock these rats out. Go to base and recruit toward this purpose. He probably doesn't leave that area until he's done doing that. We're not making a huge amount of money right now, but given the amount of land that we're going to have control over, I think we should be able to fix that. We should be able to get to a pretty large amount of money in total. Yeah, lots of fungus farms. Lookout tower that sadly does not start upgraded. How are we feeling about these rats now? Still feeling absolutely terrified by them. I suppose that makes sense. Well, keep waiting. Get a little bit of XP there. I'm a little worried about like why it's giving us all this Glimmerweave. Are we not going to get a source of like Glimmerweave income maybe? We should at the very least grab those before we move anywhere else. And Rask can... Okay, there's a fair amount of loot out here. Hit the signpost, convert the farm, and there's another settlement back here. We can probably fall back and take all this stuff later. I want to go generally in that direction, I think. No survivors remain, but here's all this loot. Okay, so 100 plus militia. It's a little scary. The ranged units can probably do an awful lot of damage. But if we barrel through here and we get access to another settlement, obviously that would be pretty cool. Yeah, we should go ahead and grow that. The extra money is valuable more than anything else. This might be a good place to build just like an exchange, actually. But obviously we are out of cash for that. Oh dear. Arleon. Well, threat level toward Rask is worthy at least. Let's maybe fall back, I guess. I'm not ready to deal with this guy. And I'm worried that hesitation is going to see us see Rask getting cut off from our ability to reinforce him. So why don't we just get out of here? Okay, Pacha is going to continue grabbing troops until it seems like we can clear these rats, and then he's going to bring stuff forward. How many rats is it? We don't really get a clear picture, right? It's more than 100 of the powerful rats, and then also a whole lot of the other rats. Yeah, we're just gonna need some like raw HP and stuff to clear that out. I'm a little worried about this Aurelian army. I don't think we have a very good solution to that problem right now. Yeah, this needs to get upgraded. I don't have enough stone for a spawning pool. What on earth? All right, let's build an exchange here. Yeah, like we just. Cheekham's gonna need access to the recruitment pools. All right, let's go get those. Let's go get those hunters down there. This is a weird situation we find ourselves in. I think we're losing that southern settlement, probably. Yep. Okay. Wow. Something within Rask the First Rider stirred an ancient hatred upon seeing this huge wielder. Oh, and yeah, bound by oath, bound to her. Oh, Meroth is attacking me. I'm shocked that he could reach us. Well, we're just doomed, right? I don't know how we survived that. Scavenged bones and everything. Like this is a real nightmare army. This feels pretty bad. So he's got 1 High Legion, 5 Scavenged Bones, 3 normal legions. This is gonna be tough, but it's probably not undoable. Oops, I hit E at the end of his movement. I did mean to move my Ethtra forward. Well, that sucks. We're gonna just miss out on an attack there. The ambush. Just try to be in like generally forward responsive positions. So yeah, this is scary for sure. Let's not make any decisions with you just yet. Am I in deadly range? Okay. Getting 2 kills is pretty good there, actually. Alright, their legions are getting stuck behind their skeletons. That's good news for us as well. And we have to figure out, like... I probably want to wait for the Phoenix thing at the very least, right? 144 damage, yeah. That'll be early in the next turn, so I think for right now I am not going to attack. And then we can do our Phoenix Strike here. Makes things a little bit safer. I think I'm going to use the guards to hold up this bit in the middle. Yeah. I could dimension door forward here. I think I'm going to. I think we can prevent this thing from getting an attack off. Yeah, okay. Guaranteed kill. That feels pretty important. This does not do nearly as much damage as I need it to. Yeah, these guys are just... They're much more physically impressive than I would like. Get that high ground at least. Are these the upgraded ones? They are. So throwing the frogs in the way is not going to prevent them from being able to attack my dragons, unfortunately. Psychic Spear is absolutely not worth not worth using. Burst of Strength would have changed the damage by not at all, and will basically do the same for the rest of the turn. Might want to just hold on to some stuff here. How much? Okay, order double destruction. Like, a destroy essence is not a terrible idea. You already have so much destruction. I don't know. We might just have to let him cast. I don't think I can make a big enough difference. I am going to... I feel like running up here is not even going to get us 1 kill. And my burst of strength, it still doesn't get us 1 kill. I'm going to run up to try to serve as a distraction, but not actually take the swing. I don't want to run you forward. I guess we don't have to make any decisions with you just yet. Yeah. Justice on the dragon is not something I can really do anything about. Okay, interesting. They're just like disengaging. So 7 movement means I can fall back to here and then still cover the distance. That adds a couple of enemies to our kill. And then yeah, we can blind hatred. See, the thing is, I really want to do a blind hatred here and have him attack and then get counterattacked to death. But if I blind hatred this guy, there's a chance he'll just hit my frogs. 72 damage to this troop is... they have 1 billion health. Do I have the Arcana for... No, I can't do Repel and Blind Hatred. I think we need to save some destruction. So maybe I do just... Yeah, that was still pretty good. Getting rid of one of these guys is probably worth the attack. How do I want to position you? I guess I'm going to take up this spot. We're going to start softening that dude up. Okay, I'm glad I didn't do any extra attacking there. So we have the Phoenix again. We can just clear the bridge entirely with the Phoenix. How much health do you have in total? 101. So I could just Ice Bolt. I think I'm going to do that. We'll just Ice Bolt you. I don't think we need to clear this entirely. I think we can let our troops take some damage here. Yep. Okay. So you have 128 health remaining. You're just going to stay here and continue to be a blocker. Yeah, we're not going to do anything with you. This might actually be lethal. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, I guess I'm going to run around this way. Do I want to give him the ability to interact? You know what? If he wants to come around on it, he can come around on it. That's fine. Okay, so at this point, 144 feels like overkill. I guess let's be rid of you. And then when I run all the way up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's about all of my movement. That's a guaranteed kill. All right, he's not quite going to get there. Now he's 3 health off. So if I throw an insect swarm down, this creates at least the possibility of the kill. Okay, didn't quite get there. But yeah, if we had seen maximum damage from the Rider Swarm, then we would have been okay. All right, I retreated, and apparently it wasn't fully necessary. We got some okay loot here. It's a decent chest piece. All right, and a level up, in fact. Do we need Command 9? Probably not, like, critically. More Arcana actually would be really nice. All right, so I was running away. I was in the middle of bravely running away. I suppose I'm going to turn around and start claiming all this stuff. We did lose our dragon, but we are in the process of rebuilding our ability to have dragon. Okay, that's done. How much is a smoldering cave? 3,500? We're not quite there yet. Yep, can we join your raiding party? Of course you can. Welcome aboard. Do I want to split these? Do I want to try to run 3 stacks, maybe? I probably don't want one of the groups to have 4 in it. Oops. That's not what I meant. I meant this. That feels a little better. Oh, there's no path because that wood is in the way. Alright, grab some gold. Ooh, more Rana. In front of a celestial ore mine, which is a thing we still need. Okay, so 3,500. We almost made the money. And obviously, we'd love to get some research buildings up, but I think establishing our smoldering cave first is the most important thing. And we're probably not quite... Okay, they're showing us only orange now. We're getting there. We're on our way. Do I want to do anything else with my money? I think not. I think we'll save to make absolutely sure that we're able to recruit with Pacha and also get the smoldering cave started. Okay, this needs 35 wood, 15 stone. So we're working on it. Dawn's Light is going to get all of its upgrades eventually. What does it take to upgrade the Chaloon Sanctuary? Okay, we almost have enough. Let's go get a pile of wood and some gold and some money income. The best kind of income. Oh, this isn't a climbable slope. Darn it. Well, you can touch this. Get some permanent stats. And then I guess probably just turn around. Could try to fight the Dreeths. With this army, I don't necessarily love that. We convert a watermill and a nice big farmhouse. All right, just a lot of minor value interactables here. We'll definitely take 1,000 XP. Okay, so there's some gold and stuff to the south, and we'll figure out everything else later. For right now, we're kind of spending all of our troop income doing this. Oh, hey. Once again, Rask has discovered enemies by face-checking the bushes. Oh, we can... Hold on. We can get these guys. And it's well worth doing so. Alright, come on now. Let's yeah. So we have... to figure out a way to get to this guy. Or to just kill him with magic, I suppose. As things stand, he can only move 3 tiles forward, so he actually can't attack at all if we just maintain these positions. Which makes me want to maintain these positions. I can at least get some poison up. Okay, so now he won't be able to get a deadly shot off if I maintain position, but also, what if we just, like, blew him up? We can blow up a fair number of those units. I think we're just gonna, at this point, we just push. Alright, you don't have nearly as much Arcana, sadly. So then let's just cut his stack size in half and go forward. Okay. That is all of the bullets you ever get. So that's going to give us access to another big building and some stuff out behind here. A secluded monastery. Wait, where was that lady? Was that not here? Was that you who saw a person? It was you. I thought we saw a wielder walk up right south of Rask. I guess not. Unless there's stealth in this game all of a sudden. wonder how many cairns Rask is benefiting from at this point. Okay, so there's cool loot down there. I mean, I'm definitely going to want to turn around at some point. There's other stuff to do. We have an exchange. We can buy 3 stone. Although it is not cheap to do so. I think I'm going to do it, though. That is a lot of our thread. It's a big difference in troop effectiveness, though. Elders are scary and they generate a lot of magic. All right, we do need a source of thread income at some point. I'm trying to think. Do I think I can take these guys? Gosh, I wish I could get just a little bit more XP before coming at them. We can run over and hit this bubbling bog. It's not exactly the thing we're looking for, but it is something. I guess we'll do one more weight because it'll give us a full stack. Arbitrarily, I've decided that is the number of Chaloon that it will take here. Ooh. Why don't you pick up order magic? That's an interesting thing for a monastery to do. All right, these burnt buildings are sad, but also very resource rich. Everywhere there were bodies, smoke, and ashes. Someone had done more than raid this village. It was a slaughter. Alright, we can get a couple of permanent stat boosts over here. But I think we probably want to turn around and get back to our settlements pretty soon. Actually, I guess with 13,000 gold, I definitely could have started a building in one of the other settlements. Okay. It is a real shame that Meroth can just respawn and come at you from off screen like that. This is going to be a tougher one. Rask has definitely got to turn around. We may end up just dying here and having to reload from the most recent autosave. Well, it's not all that scary of a thing, except for these guys, except for the seneschals. Well, there's not much reason for you to move forward, that's for sure. Let's put up the ambush. Okay, he cast Strength and Essence, which ate all of his essence, but now he's building up pretty quickly. Yeah, I am not going to be able to do anything. All of my units are so badly injured. Maybe I need to try to save for Fireball. We can spend the Chaos and the Arcana. Alright, that landed exactly where I was hoping it would land. You don't really get to do anything. You can run forward and die horribly. So Fireball's at 14. And Acid Cloud's at 12 creation. We're close. I think I do still just wait for somebody to enter deadly range here. Okay, a rupture spent in that direction is not so bad. It seems like their caster is pretty low tier. I think you're gonna have to wait a second. So this really sucks. The fact that he's separated from the rest of the troops is gonna make things kind of awkward. Attacking him right now is not the solution. But backing off so that I can more easily spend all of my movement to attack might be. And it has the benefit of allowing this guy out of the corner. So if I throw Fireball down, we can get a pretty healthy number of them. Yeah, that makes two of the stacks like kind of not even threats. I could Acid Cloud them too. Kill 4 straight up and then they have to walk through the garbage. How much movement do you have? 4. So... yeah, let's drop it here. You can stand there, I suppose. You're probably doing more for us by just being alive and contributing the intimidation effect than you would be by attacking. I think I'm probably going to repel this guy, actually. But we may as well attack with the F-Draw first, then repel him so that the shamans can attack safely. Because the F-Draw get to hit him with the intimidation effect up. 36 damage is just not... it's cool that it hits such a large area, but it's just not like a meaningful amount against most of these enemies. So let's repel you into the cloud, which was totally my plan. Okay, yep, Rupture's pretty solid. I love that he walked through that in the worst way possible, because he absolutely could have just walked down, right? Okay, I think we're gonna narrowly survive this. So Rupture here, and just no, you don't quite just finish the job though, do you? There we go. Yeah, I was really not expecting Meroth to respawn and just catch me like that. But we survived it. We definitely need to back up now. And I wanna get this this done here. So let's grab the F-Draw as well and go fuck up these rats. They're still showing as risky. We should be able to handle this, I would think. It's the fact that he hit us so fast means that, yeah, this is the settlement he came from. Should we just push it, actually? Permanent stat boosts and then just go fucking take it away from him. Who knows if he even has another place. Oh no, I ran out of movement. And they have another wielder right there. So, okay, we're going to have to reload from, from the autosave. Well, then I guess there's no reason really to do the other things. All right. I think what I will do is that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. You know what? I guess I don't want to like play out the rest of the turn, like waste time. But what if he doesn't have the movement to get over here or something? Like, what if I'm okay? I guess let's try and play it out. Let's see what happens. I think we should be in a spot where we are just definitely losing that that battle and as such the campaign. But I guess let's see. Really is a lot of rats, huh? Okay. So I guess you stand over here. You can confer your inspiration buff. Wow. They're very fast. Okay, so this is going to go extremely poorly then. Alright, you got to get some control over this. Yeah, no, the game was not wrong. This is just a truly horrifying number of rats. We have 90-point ruptures. Do I attack here to try to hold them back? I guess so. Like we gotta reduce the stack sizes, right? They can't be attacking at these values. Okay. So I can't swap my unit in a way that's going to get him in a way where he's not going to be adjacent to any enemies anywhere. So I guess he just attacks the adjacent. Yo, this is bad. All right. A couple of different reasons to reload from the autosave, it would seem. We can clear these guys. Yeah, just like, holy hell, this is so many rats. Well, the good news is I don't think these neutral pools respawn, so we can probably we can probably push them with 2 armies. Oh man. I hope these spoils of war remain on those units. That's wild, though. That is a wild thing to come to terms with, that we would still lose that badly. Okay, those are just bandits. There's a lot of bandits in this area, and we are getting very lucky about that. I guess there's not much else for Cheekham to do if we don't want to fight these wolves. I don't see a reason in particular. It's just like turn around and run back the other way. All right, let's see if Rask does get pushed by this wielder. Coral Lightbringer, pretty strong overall vibe here. Yeah, and they're gonna say some stuff, and then we're gonna fight. Let's get to the part where we fight. Tell me of these allies. Yeah, you got allies. Okay, yeah, that is a futile number of troops to be fighting against. Okay, I kind of thought that we were going to lose. I will admit I'm a little surprised at how big his army is. Rask the First Rider has died, and also all of our other troops everywhere. Okay, bummer. That's fine. We'll get it back. That is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to load us back from the autosave, maybe be a tiny bit less aggressive with Rask, And we'll meet all the troops up. We'll figure things out. We'll finally get rid of these rats. It'll happen. I'm just trying to get my foothold established here. So come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.